We're going to take a look now at creating arrays in our AutoCAD drawings. We're staying in the modifying objects.dwg file. And as you can see, I've zoomed to the visible extents just by double clicking on the wheel so that we can see all of our floor plan in the model tab. Now, arrays are a bit like the copy command, but kind of on steroids. They've got lots of extra features that allow you to basically work with your objects in your AutoCAD drawings. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a rectangular array first, but we're going to utilize some of the commands that we've already worked with. We're going to be working in this sort of area of the drawing here, so you might want to zoom in a bit. Like so. I'm going to get in a little bit closer and pan. There we go, like that. Now I want to be able to see that chair there, and I want to be able to see our internal walls, our little partitions here, because I'm going to create a simple rectangular array of the chair in the partitions as we prepare to make these into little hot desking cubicles. So I'm going to select my chair here, like so, and then it's a right click and copy selection. So I might need to pan up slightly a little bit there. I just want the midpoint on the back of the chair. So I'm copying that from there to there. I'm just going to pan down slightly a little bit. There we go, so that we can see those internal partition walls. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm now going to place the chair using a mid between 2 points snap. So it's a shift, right click, and you want mid between 2 points on the shortcut menu. And you're going to pick that endpoint there and that endpoint there, and it places it in the middle. Can you see that? Enter to finish, mid between 2 points. Now, ideally, we now want to create what is called a rectangular array, 1 row, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to create our array of these particular chairs. Now, in order to do that, you kind of want to check something, and it's a distance. Now, the distance you want to check is going to be, how do I place these? 1, 2, 3, like so. We need to measure a distance between 2 points. Now, how are we going to do that? Because we've got nothing to snap to here. Well, here's the trick. We draw a line, like so. And again, it's a shift and a right click, mid between 2 points, and you want that point, end point there, end point there. Just take a little vertical line upwards, use the polar tracking and click again, and then enter to finish, like so. And this is where all of the tools in AutoCAD start to come into use. Now we're going to measure a distance. So we go measure distance, and you want midpoint snap to endpoint. And you can see there it's 968.5. Now you need to kind of commit that to memory or write it down. It's 968.5. And what I'll do is I'll exit the measure command now and delete the line. Now the reason we need to remember that is purely because if we don't, we're not going to get the spacing right on our rectangular array. So we now need to create a rectangular array. So I'm going to select the chair, up to the modify panel on the home tab, click on the flyout rectangular array. Now, as soon as I do that, it's like, oh, hello, lots of chairs. Don't panic. As soon as you do that, it creates a default array in the array creation contextual tab up here. You need to edit the values here. So number of rows, we only want 1. So we're going to double click in there and put 1 and press enter. There's our 1 row. We then go to columns, double click in there, and we want 3 and enter. The distance between the columns we need to change here. See the between there? So that's the distance. That's where we put our 1968.5. Enter to confirm, and now they're nice and neatly spaced. Now, the good thing is you can alter anything here using your rectangular array. We're done though, because we've got our 3 little cubicles all neatly lined up. We can potentially start thinking about desks, lighting, planting, and so on. So I click on close array, and that's our little rectangular array. Now, the good thing is AutoCAD remembers that that's a rectangular array. Can you see that? When I click on it, it goes back to the array tab on the ribbon. Now, if you don't want that to be an array anymore, and you just want it to be 3 individual chairs, you'd go to the home tab and you'd explode your associative array. Now, I don't recommend that because then you can't go back to the array and edit the settings later. So just something to think about. Hit escape a couple of times just to come out of the rectangular array command. Zoom out slightly by rolling back on the wheel. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to move our octagonal table. So select the two octagons, 1 and 2, right click, move on the shortcut menu, pick a point, doesn't matter where, and we're just going to pop it up here like so. Pop it sort of roughly central in that room there. We're then going to take one of our chairs. So I'm going to select this chair here, click on it, and you might want to zoom in just a tad and get the grip there, but you want to copy it, remember? So don't use the grip. Don't click on the grip, just select it, right click, copy selection, midpoint snap on the back of the chair. Then you're copying it and the original gets left behind. Bit of panning, bit of zooming, get in close there and just pop that chair, roughly speaking, there, like that. Enter to confirm, and there we go. We've copied it from there, panned across to there. Zoom in on your octagonal chair and table, like so. We're going to create now what is called a polar array. Now, the polar array goes around a point using a center point. So we select our chair again, like so. There's our chair. We go to the array drop down on the modify panel and select polar array, like so. Center point of the array. Now, this is where we do the shift and the right click, and we want a geometric center again. So we come over here, geometric centers there, click. And again, it creates a sample array. We don't need 6 items. We just double click there and select 4. Press enter to confirm, and there's our 4 items in our array. We don't even need to set up an angle because obviously AutoCAD has worked that out. 360 degrees divided by 4, 90 degrees between each chair. Now, again, I can close the array, and if I click on the array, it remembers it's a polar array like so, and you can go to the Home tab, into the Modify panel, and explode it if you do want it to be 4 individual chairs again. Don't recommend it in case you want to adapt the array later. Hit escape a couple of times to deselect. Last but not least, we're going to look at what is called a path array, this one here. Okay, so we're going to zoom out by double clicking on the wheel to zoom extents. And what we're going to do, we're going to pan upwards a little bit, zoom in on this bottom left corner, and we're going to copy our chair again. So I'm going to click here, right click, copy selection, midpoint there, and I'm going to pop a chair there. Enter to confirm. Now we've got one chair. Now, before we do anything else, what we're going to do, we're going to create an arc. So we're going to go to arc here on the draw panel, and we're just going to create a 3-point arc. And we're going to start at the midpoint on the back of the chair, come up here, come down here, and click again like so. Now, here's the clever thing with this particular path array. I like this. This is fun. So we go to the chair and we select it, like we've done with the previous array commands. Modify panel, click on the flyout, path array. It says select the path curve. So I'm selecting my arc, like so. And as if by magic, it's kind of done them all round the wrong way, like so. You've got to be careful which part of the curve you select. So just hit escape a couple of times and go up to undo on the quick access toolbar. Go back to the path array again and select the chair that you want to array. There it is there, like so, and enter to confirm. Select the path curve near the chair, and can you see it's now rotating the chairs in line with the curve? Now, if we have a look at our Array Creation tab on the ribbon, you can see it's aligning the items to our curve. As you can see, it's just following it around and the chair is rotating. If I switch off Align Items, those chairs just follow that little arc. Now, that arc was just a random arc. Now, you might have a specific arc there. That might be potentially, let's say, a conference room with a screen and a projector, and you might have a stage there, perhaps. It might be a sound stage to record live promotional videos for your company, anything like that. But the idea being is that that particular path allows you now to create that path array of the chairs. Enter to finish, like so, or you can click on the green tick on the ribbon. And what you might do there is your path, you might put it on a separate layer potentially, so that you can freeze that or turn it off at another time. But the whole idea is that path allows you to create that path array. So you can see how arrays in AutoCAD give you that kind of copy, but on steroids with all the extras, so that you're kind of building up all of that copy tool mentality and methodology within AutoCAD. So make sure you use your arrays, because they're really handy. They're really quite useful for, like, multiple copying within your AutoCAD drawings. And one thing I would suggest when you create them, don't explode them, because you can go back at any time, click on your array, and if you want to align those items now quickly, you just do that and it aligns them to the path curve, and then close the array like so. So utilize your arrays in your AutoCAD drawings. They will make your life so much easier if you've got multiple copying and specific copying at, say, rows, columns, around a center point, or even on a path.